Welcome future homeowners, it's Jeremy Williams of the Bannock Real Estate Group, and I'm going to be your tour guide through the next chapter of the House Hunter's Handbook series, where we're going to be talking about negotiation. If you remember last week, we talked about finding the right house and how to work with a lender to make sure that we get the right structure, the right loans to fit your needs. Well, now it's the negotiation part, and there's a couple things that we want to factor into it to make sure that we can get you into your dream house. Now that you found the right house and you got the lending set up, it's time to make an offer on that property. Now, making an offer is something we shouldn't take lightly. It's one of the most important parts of the steps. When we do it properly and your offer is accepted, you're going to now have a roadmap of the different things that need to happen to get to closing. Closing is when you actually sign for the house and get to move in. So it's a process. Usually it takes about 30 to 45 days from beginning to end when we get offers accepted. Now there's two parts of an offer. There's what we call the price and the terms. You might have a great price and terrible terms, and that might not be good for the seller, or vice versa. Great terms and a terrible price. It's really important that we sit down together and we fully understand your goals. When it comes to down payments, when it comes to monthly payments, condition of the house, what are deal breakers? What are things that we can be flexible on, but what are things that we're going to stand firm on? And when we can put together the perfect blend between price and terms that work with the seller, that's going to be your optimal situation. But in order to do that, we also have to sit down and understand the market. There's a lot of times where a price might come in under market value, and you might have to pay more than what the asking price is. There's times where it might be overvalued. We got to negotiate that down, or certain condition items, things like that. When we write an offer, oftentimes they're geared towards you as the buyer. What that means is there's usually sets of contingencies, protections, stopgaps along the way to help make sure you know exactly what you're buying, you're getting yourself into. So what's an example of this? Well, a home inspection, for instance. Usually we set up a time period where you can hire a home inspector to review the condition of the house. If during that time something comes up that you're not happy with, you usually have about 3 options. And there's other things that might come into play, but usually it's like, let's just say they found something really terrible. Black mold in the attic, you have no interest in the house anymore. As long as it's before a certain time period, you can cancel the contract and get your earnest money back. Or you might do that home inspection and be like, well, they always find stuff, at least we know about it. Let's move forward. And then third, sometimes there's a situation where it might be, hey, we really like this house, but we didn't know that the roof was at the end of its life. We feel like that should be addressed, and that might be another negotiating point to come together on before we can move forward. So there's home inspections, there's financing contingencies, there's appraisal contingencies, title contingencies, all things that we walk you through so you can understand how you're protected and what it's going to take to get from beginning to end. Negotiating the offer is one of the most important parts of the process and where we take the most pride in. The reality is a lot of agents can show you properties and take you around and tour the houses, but the negotiation, the problem solving is where we really shine. We have 20 years of experience, so over that time we've worked in a lot of different markets between buyers markets and sellers markets. We understand how to craft offers between price and terms that's going to get you into that next house. Someone with great problem solving skills that could go through and look at things in different ways to make sure you're protected but still moves everything forward is going to be essential. To find out more about what we do to negotiate offers, please reach out. You can always reach me on my cell, 406-531-1519, and we're going to be coming out with more of these videos, so please hit subscribe so you don't miss any parts of the House Hunter Handbook series.